Oh, speak, bitch. Come on now.
Hello, pretzels, and welcome back to the tripod. We're gonna jump into some all elite news. Of course, the latest has been that Styx's hero, old Danny Garcia, has not re-signed yet with AEW, which is very interesting. I would like to get your guys' take on it. Styx, what do you think Danny should do? What do you think would be the best move if you were his advocate? What would you be advocating for young Danny Garcia?
Get the fuck out of Dodge and get to the PC and the chef and trips ASAP. They wrote you off. Go. It will probably, I don't know if you'll make as much money right off the bat as probably what AEW would probably offer, but let's just put it this way. Future wise, you're going to be so much better. Television standpoint wise, so much better. Get out of there. And by the way, when you land, send Ricky Starks a postcard with wishes you were here on it because he needs to get there too.
Yeah, hypothetically, if we're just fantasy booking here and Ricky Starks and Danny Garcia, Shawn Michaels gobbled them up for NXT, could you imagine the fucking bangers we could be seeing, the entertainment we could be seeing? They're going to the CW. They should bring out the big guns. They should, what is his name? One of the cons should bust out that checkbook, get their asses over there, boost up NXT Caesar. I mean, what do you think? We haven't seen Rick, our boy, Absolute, in a while. We haven't seen Danny Garcia. If you were their advocate, they say, hey, Caesar, I got a couple questions, man. I need some advice. What do you think I should do? Should I stick it out with this all elite shit and get them bags? Or should I go to NXT and get, for the love of the game? Or should I get some eyes on Impact? I mean, what you think, Caesar? What you think, brother?
So, after careful deliberation, I've been looking at stuff. I've been seeing stuff, been watching wrestling for so long. I have finally figured out why AEW exists. It exists for you to get the bag. It exists for you to get the bag. Now, it's like any other sports team, right? It's like any other sports franchise besides the NFL, because we know that shit's cricket. It's like any other sports. You know, when you're talented and you had a great career, right? And let's say you work for the E. Let's say you're somebody like Nathaniel Riley, a Roman Reigns. You know, you built yourself from the ground up. You go on the indies, and going on the indies now, you can make a name for yourself. You get to a good indie. Maybe you get to, back in the day before Tony bought him, an ROH, a TNA. You get real known, and you have two options now, right? Do you go to this new shit that Tony Khan was doing, or do you go to the E? Now, if you go to the Fed, you're going to get, if you're really good now, you're really good. You either got to excel at wrestling or have great promo skills and be shit in the ring. You can make a name for yourself. If you do make a name for yourself, right, you could be up there, accolades, doing something, but you don't feel like you're wrestling like you were on the indies. But once you get to the top, you've been there for a while, you can leave and go to someplace like ATW and get the bag. But if you're a new guy, don't go to AEW because they don't know how to build you. You'll get paid. You'll get paid great. You'll be paid really great. You won't be starving and struggling like when you first start out at the E, because the E is just going to pay you, and hopefully you build. And they'll try to help you build. They'll put in work. They'll reinvent you. They will keep you. They'll give you chances. And maybe one of them clicks, you know? And you ride that wave up to the top. People like John Cena. He did that shit. That nigga was shit when he came out. Rapped on the bus, got a shot. Hey, good. Cody Rhodes had to leave, come back. Drew McIntyre had to leave, come back. Jinder Mahal had to leave, come back. Christian had to leave, come back. And then you get the big time. And then you can go to ATW and get paid and sit out the rest of your career because you're going to get injured, fuck yourself up, break a leg or two. And then you're done. You're done. Like, raise your children. You're sitting on the bench at 40. You know, you're done. But if you're a new guy, you're off the indies, and then you're a new guy. You know, you're great in the ring. You got a great promo. You do a silly little dance. Right? You got pose. They can't build you. There's no system to build you. So it's all on you. And when everybody has creative influence, but other people have been doing it for years and you haven't, you ain't gonna get no TV time. You ain't shit. You ain't gonna get shit. Okay? Because they ain't there to help you. They there to wrestle and get paid. But see, the E is there to help you. They got developmental. Hell, they got now TNT like they're funneling developmental to developmental NXT to the main roster, where you have to put in some work once you get there. But that's what AEW is. They got to leave. Okay? They got to leave. Daniel Garcia, great technical wrestler. Okay? Got to sit a little dance, get it with the people so he can get over with the people. The promo game probably needs a little bit of work. Just a little spit shine, you know, little hop tool. And a little wipe, you know what I'm saying? And he can get over. Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks good to go. He could have an ego page type run. That nigga come in there and win the title in 6 weeks. Okay, if they wanted to. And Ricky could be an asshole or he could be a face. And he's great both ways. I don't really like Daniel Garcia as a heel. He's better as a face. So we got to work on his heel work. But Ricky Starks could come in there and cook. Okay, and cook in the ring. And we know NXT got good wrestlers. They need some more seasoned vets. He's been on the indies, so, you know, they're not building him all the way up like they built tricking him, you know, but great. So, yeah, if I'm him, I'm like, yo, bro, you ain't really been too fucked up. I mean, I don't even think Dan Garcia really did he get injured real bad once already? Because I felt like he missed time before, but I don't know.
I don't think so. I think a lot of it's just been
inconsistent
storytelling.
Yeah. All right, so he just got inconsistent stories.
Well, can I tell you guys this?
They hire niggas in the E for long-term stories. This nigga has a job where all he has to do is like, where am I going in 8 months? I got to fill in the time. That's all he got. That's what he does. You got Massa Michaels, one of the GOATs. You can put him on your Mount Rushmore if you want. Some people might not. I don't know what the fuck they smoking. Some people will. He gonna take care of you. He got that big titty, buck tooth bitch running the show, cooking. Well, the script says she's cooking. He really writing it. But he backstage, he cooking. Cooking like chef in the fourth quarter of the Olympics. That's for the basketball niggas. Maybe one of y'all, I know it ain't the sheriff. He don't watch sports. Except wrestling and football. You know. But anyway, Chef Curry in the Olympics, cooking. Just like Massa Michaels. Yeah, put him to sleep. Because that's where you're going to go in AEW. Straight to sleep. Nigga, they took you off TV because your contract was up. Drew McIntyre was wrestling in WrestleMania without a contract. They going to use you. If you in the story, you wrestling. You on the show. You in the script. This nigga Tony said, oh, you don't want to sign? Get the fuck off my TV. You know what? That's somebody I ain't got to worry about. Because he got 200 more niggas in the back not doing shit. He ain't gonna do shit with him anyway, because all he gonna worry about is Ospreay. But still, take your ass to the E, get your name out there, get you some shirts, not on no punk ass other website, on an actual WWE website. So they gonna make good shirts, not just, you know, put Danny Garcia on it on a black t-shirt and expect that shit to sell out. Get you some bread. Go over there, get you a shirt, 2 shirts, get you some matches, get you some TV. Hell, Dante Chen was on TNA this week. That nigga NXT got. If fucking one of them niggas from Dallas was on NXT, you gonna get some time. Okay. They're gonna find a way to get you some time. Okay. You may not be on every PLE, because they'll have one every, 1.5 months now or whatever the fuck. But you're gonna get you some time. You're gonna get you some screen time, you're gonna get you some fan time, and they're gonna get you in a story which you can cook. They got Moon Knight in the story. Moon Knight. Greatest thing he did in wrestling was stick his dick in Dakota Kai. I said it.
So there you have it. Danny Garcia, Ricky Starks, pack your bags, head on down to Florida. Not that part of Florida, the other part of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Sign up with some NXT. But as far as Dynamite goes, I'm going to talk about 2 matches.
Okay.
The beginning. MJF versus Kyle Fletcher.
I just watched this.
AEW definitely pushing this young man, Kyle. Spotlighting a future star, possibly. Undeniable talent. Tons of potential.
Mm-hmm.
No problem with them building new stars. My problem
is
having him face a guy, which Cesar would say himself, we all know is going to beat his ass. Have Kyle beat Jericho or Danielson or a handful of CMLL guys. I know I'm nitpicking, but that's what this show is. Don Callis tosses Kyle a screwdriver, distracting the ref. It's funny how even Tony Schiavone was egging Kyle on to use it. Kyle tosses it. MJF dick punch Jones for the win. Clobbers the ref too. Attacks Kyle with the ring. Bloodies Kyle. Ospreay for the save. The other match I'm going to talk about quickly. Mariah May versus Jabra. Mariah's wedgie has already won the match in my notes. Mariah wins, of course. Tony gifts a photo of them with Mariah die on it. Tony attacks, and then Horseface Buzz Killington stops Tony from attacking with the shoe. Is Luther dead? Those are the extent of my All Elite notes for the week, Cesar.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on those 2 matches or anything else you want to talk about on this past week's AEW?
I don't mind the Kyle versus MJF. Yeah, we all know MJF's going to win, but it's further in the storyline. So I can't be mad at that. It's further in the storyline between him and Beer Cheese Ospreay or Billy Goat, because it ain't a PLE, so we can't call him Beer Cheese yet. But Billy Goat Ospreay. This is actually shit we've complained about how their storylines are really inconsistent and ignorant, but this is being consistent. Kyle is Will's boy. He can't get out of the Don Callis contract like Will did. And of course, MJF is such a bitch, he's gonna attack everybody that you like and lock Will in a room. The part you didn't say is he locked Will in a room so he could bust his ass open, and he was gonna try to hit him with the Tiger Driver. We get it. Yeah. Renee looked good. Yeah. Renee looked good. What was the main event? I don't care about Jeff.
The reason why I
don't care about Jeff Jarrett. I just remember.
Is because the main event was Jeff Jarrett versus Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I
stopped taking notes. Sticks.
Sasha Hogan was out there. Yeah, Sasha Hogan. Britt Baker looked good.
Yeah,
Britt Baker looked good. Tony crazy. So I saw me some Mariah butt meat. I saw Tony butt meat. So I mean, she is Sasha Hogan, but she still looked good. Britt looked good, and Renee looked good. And Schiavone wants MJF dead. I mean, to me, if I just watched like that for 30 minutes, good show.
Oh, the goat of goats, Tony Schiavone. Just shot up the top of my list, as you guys know. But Sticks, I mean, I know you watched and consumed all Elite week of wrestling. Go ahead and dazzle us with something we might have missed.
Sorry, 1 minute. I did see Christian Cage too. I saw Christian Cage. There we go. I saw Christian Cage.
Well, first off, I'm just going to touch on the MJF match. That match, I thought, like Cesar said, actually legit have a purpose, but I thought it was multi-layered. One, it helped progress the storyline, but 2, it showed the talent that Kyle Fletcher has. Like, if you didn't watch him from New Japan, you didn't watch him from like the tag team with Aussie Open. This man, when you watch that, you could see he had it. Like, this guy at worst was going to be a mid-card champion. Like, he has been, I believe, like, I forget what championship, but he was a Ring of Honor champion, which I mean, I know nobody. What's that?
I think he was the TV champ.
Yeah. He was that, which I'm assuming AEW is using as like their bargain basement NXT. You know, you it's not on any TV. You got to actually legit pay for a subscription for that, which we know none of the 3 of us are actually going to legit fucking do. Even myself ain't going to do that. But this guy, I thought it was a showcase for that. Like Cesar said, storyline pusher, because now it's multi-layered. One, you had with MJF and Will Ospreay, you have Kyle Fletcher's brother. But 2, I still think in the background, there's still something going on with Don and Will Ospreay. Like, when he let him out, you knew that the way Don was kind of playing that, it was going to come back and get Ospreay. Like, something was going to happen. If you watched it, when Ospreay was holding the bloodied Kyle Fletcher, Don was yelling at him, like, "Why? Where were you at?" You know, Ospreay had said, I was locked in the room. You know, Don kept pushing that. Now, are we going to get that payoff too? Like, will that come back? Will Don, and maybe does Kyle finally, does he stab Ospreay in the back at All In, or maybe the Dynatrash before? You know, who knows? Last Saturday, Fletcher faced Brian Cage, which I will say that we had talked about. If you want to pick up a dub, you face Brian Cage.
Or Murder Hawk.
They had actually built Brian Cage up a little bit. Like, he had picked up some dubs, and they had made him a little bit strong. He was on a win streak, like 3-4 match win streak going into that collision.
Oh!
And yeah. I mean, it was a Saturday. I mean, he mostly wrestled on Fridays and Saturdays, which we know Cesar isn't going to watch unless.
No, nigga. I got every Friday and Saturday on this DVR, nigga. You telling me Brian Cage was getting win on AEW? Fuck no, nigga.
Yeah, watch. I think it was not last Saturday, maybe 2 weeks ago. Collision when he wrestled, because they talked about it. They showed it on the little side plate where they used to have like the great Hangman Page sayings. They actually showed, I think he was on like a 3 or 4 match win streak. I digress. They built it up.
In thumb wrestling?
What's that?
Was it in thumb wrestling or actual wrestling?
Like actual legit wrestling.
Cesar doesn't believe it. I mean, you just
I mean, go right ahead, because they had Don Callis on commentary, but they built it to be like a David versus Goliath. The cards were all against Fletcher, and he won. So that was like the match, I think, to be able to build it so that they could springboard it, because he cut a promo on MJF, which MJF took like a couple of pictures and made fun of Kyle Fletcher. I think he called him like a bargain basement Machine Gun Kelly, stuff like that on Twitter. I digress. I thought that match was multi-layered, but I thought the biggest thing of it was that it was a showcase for Kyle Fletcher. Like you guys have said, it was a showcase. This guy has potential. He's in a somewhat big storyline because he ties to Will Ospreay, which does help you. It allowed him to get on TV, show some skills. Now, if they pull the trigger on the Don Callis family turning on him, this will be a bigger thing, because maybe we get a multi-match feud with Kyle and Ospreay, or knowing Tony Skeets, we're just going to get a one-match blow-off. Will Ospreay will destroy him and move forward. I liked that match. Just to touch on other things for AEW TV, very, very Darby Allin-centric this week. He wrestled, I think he wrestled Wednesday, he wrestled Friday, he wrestled in a tag team with the new shiny toy of Tony Skeets hologram on Saturday, and pretty much won all those. So, he's getting the Uber build to going into All In, and going to have that Uber build going into All In, but also to his heavyweight championship, match at the big show in New York that they do on TV. And like Cesar said, the father of the century, the man who has rebuilt himself, the man who can go to AEW and not only keep treading water, but actually succeed. Christian Cage, special guest refereed the trios #1 contenders match and wore a referee's turtleneck. And he like Nigel said, what Dr. Dre has done for headphones with Beats, Christian Cage has done for turtlenecks. He has made him great. When I saw this man walking out and a referee ATW, like this looked like a legit ATW referee's turtleneck. It wasn't one of those sewn on, slap a patch on and go, this looked like it. I was like, okay, this was good enough reason to actually legit sit through the garbage of Saturday night and watch it. So outside of that, Mariah May, like you guys talked about, they have something with her. But I mean, if you watched her in Stardom, you knew there was something there with her. They were really high on her. She's doing great. Her promos, her match work has been good. She's in one of the biggest feuds of ATW that doesn't involve multi-million-dollar Mercedes Moné that's just throwing money into the toilet and flushing. But outside that, those, like you guys talked about, those are the shining spots of ATW TV.
So
wait, I figured out one more. Taco Bell hates Jack Perry as much as everybody else does, because that fucking commercial came right in between that nigga's promo and that nigga's promo. The fact is that nigga promo kept going. I went back and watched this shit twice. It was not lined up.
That was the APPW influence. Taco Bell just cutting that shit off.
They ran that promo on Saturday, like without the interruption. It was because I was watching, my girlfriend was watching it with me, and I told her, I said, they fucking bobbled the ball on that. They ran a Taco Bell twice. They ran it in the middle, and then after the promo, they ran the same fucking promotional commercial again.
Thank you, Taco Bell.
Talk about $7 craving box. Better than Jack Perry. You damn right.
But of course, that being said, from now on, I will be busy on Wednesday nights. So I will now start taking notes exclusively on Collision. I will be a Collision man. I got to hear Nigel. I got to, Tony was on there, thank God. So we still get to see that. And I am finally going to take a deep dive into this new flash in the pan they call Hologram. But now we're going to get to night 2 of the Great American Bash on NXT. We kick things off with Stallion Pete, baby, versus Old Trick Willie. Vintage Stallion Pete offense here, breaking fingers and wrecking thumbs. Don't sleep on Trick Willie, though, busting out some counters we've never seen before. This was a great match. Pete Dunne does not have a bad match with anyone. Pete made Trick look great too. Commentators did not mention how Pete was slowly pulling the turnbuckle pad down, exposing the steel ring while he was being pummeled by Trick in the corner, which then Pete sent Trick knee first into. Bitter end, Pete gets the win while hooking that very leg that hit the steel. Great kickoff to night 2 sticks. We had Stallion Pete go over on Old Trick Willie. What'd you think?
This, in my opinion, was Trick Williams' best match he's had in NXT.
Wow.
Now, I know that's hard to say because we had taught, when you go back and look at the record books, he's faced Mello twice, which Mello is smooth in the ring, but we all three know those matches were not as great as they looked on paper going in. I mean, they were horrible. But this match, you're in there with Stallion Pete, like you said, Mangria. Stallion Pete, very rarely, if he ever does, it's because of the solar eclipse and the tides are rising. That's the only time he ever has a bad match, which only happens maybe once a millennium. This man went out there, and I'm sure a lot of people thought, well, it's going to be a good builder for Trick. He's on the rebound. He's trying to get back up to the NXT championship. No, I actually think this loss is good for him because you put him in there with a legit veteran who is going to help you, and plus it plays a storyline. He told Trick, figure it out. Well, now Trick has to figure it out. You have a complex puzzle in the Bruiserweight. Now figure it out. Once you figure that out, then you're going to start your ascension. This was a great match. I mean, the back and forth, the chops. Like you said, avid wrestling fans will see it. He slowly was pulling down that turnbuckle. A lot of people don't see that because they pay attention to other things. If you're a wrestling fan, you notice that. And that was a great thing that Trick didn't pay attention to, that the Bruiserweight was doing. They talked about, I think it was Sick Vic. Big Dick Vic has said, well, a lot of people are wondering what's going on. This is Pete Dunne. This is what the Bruiserweight was doing before he became the heel, not the heel, but the baby bruiser. I mean, this guy went out there and he gave 2 fucks. He didn't give 0 fucks. He couldn't care. He's going out there, he's getting the dub, but he's also teaching you something. This was a great match. And once again, these guys, NXT, they start off with bangers. If they're TV PLEs or legit PLEs, they always start off with the heat. Chef Michaels was like, I'm going to start off with the appetizer of all appetizers, and he did. I mean, this was the beginning for what, I mean, if you look at the card for both nights, you knew they stacked the second night with just the way it was, and they started off strong. Like I said, I thought this was probably Trick's best match at NXT, and to have it with a guy like freaking Peter Dune, that's something that you got to do. I mean, so it was a great match.
I am very, very happy they're making Pete Dunne feel like a big deal again, because the watered down Butch in the Brawling Brutes was, oh, he's the pit bull. You never know what he's going to do. That was stupid. And I'm going to spoil something for you guys that happened tonight on Raw. Not Kenzie was interviewing Stallion Pete in the stands, empty arena, and he kind of screwed himself. He said that he hates to, he kept repeating himself, I hated being called Butch. I don't ever want to hear the name Butch again.
So the crowd called him Butch.
I think that from now on, when he comes out, the crowd is going to heckle him with Butch and he's going to get angry. But, at least he's getting some Sticks 316, which is very good news, Cesar.
But if the crowd chants it, then he did his job right, because he's a heel now.
The kickoff to the Great American Bash Night 2 was Stallion Pete versus Trick Willie. What'd you think, Cesar?
Yeah, it was a great match. That nigga won't lie. They really built it like David and Goliath because Brian Cage was getting wins. I can't believe it. I missed it. Fucking Miracle in July happened last month. Brian Cage was getting wins on AEW TV, and I fucking missed it. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah. This is good. This is good. Trick needed to lose because remember we always say when you get a good run or when you get a championship run, you're not gonna lose that much. So when you get out of it, you got to take some L's to build yourself back up. We all know Stallion Pete can go in the ring, the bruiserweight. Ever since I ain't gonna lie, I watch the indie wrestling when I can, but no goddamn way I was watching UK indie wrestling. So I didn't know who the bruiserweight was until they had that inaugural fucking tourney on NXT UK, which I was a faithful watching that shit. Good God, those fuckers could wrestle. You want to watch some old school classic shit? Get your dumb ass on that Peacock and watch them first couple seasons of NXT UK. You'll see a lot of fuckers you've seen around cooking. All them dudes over there, where Gallus is originally from, cooking. This is back when they were cooking. But yeah. Bruiserweight ain't never bad in the ring. I don't even think he was bad in the ring when he was Butch because he was wrestling. He had bad character, but he wasn't bad wrestling. You know how that goes. But yeah. Really good match. Bruiserweight getting back to what Bruiserweight does, cracking bitches in the ring, doing work, doing dirt, book cooning as well, because he like him some Bruiserweight, but he like him some Trick Willie. So he cooning back and forth. But I thought it was a real good match. I don't know if it's Trick Willie's best match. That Dragunov match was cooking. It was good. And that Iron Survivor match when everybody was in it. We know Trick's challenge isn't one-on-one. I'll probably give you, it's probably, because I'm gonna say that Dragon, yeah, not the mellow matches. They were good, but they weren't like, oh my god. Like,
I think Pete and Dragunov matches are 1A, 1B. If we're gonna do that, like that,
yeah. No.
the
I'd say they're
Irish
top two.
Survivor match, we knew once you knew what was gonna happen, and then the time was coming, he had to start stacking dubs, and he did it so quick. It was like, oh, okay, we know where. But with those, like especially with the Peter Dune.
Mhm.
You legit didn't know, because like it could be like old NXT. A guy comes down to the main roster, he builds it up, and then he's going to collect an L. But like with this, with him collecting that dub over Trick, and then maybe this furthers on a little bit of a rivalry, because it gives Trick something to do while he's treading water to climb that ladder. But it also gives Bruiserweight something to do while missing around on the main roster, coming down and also doing an NXT influence, which could also bring Sheamus down, which would get more eyes on it. I mean, it's like we talked about, it's multi-layered. But I agree with you. It's 1A, 1B, and both those guys are UK guys, like you talked about. If you get time, go back on the Peacock. If you have a couple days off, Mike Honcho, and Matthew JH. If you get a little bit of time, jump on the Peacock. You want to watch some wrestling, go back, watch some NXT UK.
Yeah, it was great match though. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. It'd be great. I mean, you could get Trick coming up, getting in a match, ruining Sheamus, and maybe a Pete match, and then getting Sheamus come down. I'm not saying they'll do it, but fucking Ridge and Pete haven't really interacted yet. And if Sheamus did come down, you could get those three assholes fighting each other. You could maybe just Ridge being like, I'm done with you. I'm doing Chase U.
I don't want Ridge anywhere near Stallion Pete. I do not want him to injure.
It hasn't happened yet,
want him to injure Stallion Pete.
But it's there though.
Somebody else.
It's there. If he's gonna beef with Sheamus, he might beef with Ridge, or he might not beef with Ridge. You never know. Like Tuesday,
he's gonna dick down Thea. He's gonna injure Duke Hudson, and then he can move on to the Indian.
Yeah, man. Look, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But I'm just saying, you have to include all angles just because they're there. You can't have these guys not interact at all. That'd be wild. That'd be like, yo, you're really cooking Shawn Michaels. If they just they don't even interact. They haven't even bumped each other into the hallway or anything. Neither of them were at the barbecue. That barbecue was funny as shit though. All those scenes were good. We'll get to that later. But yeah, this was really good though. I guess we'll talk about this later at the end of the show then, because I have some things about night 1 versus night 2. But yeah, we can talk about that at the end.
I'm glad you brought up the NXT UK tournament for the UK Championship, because that was one of my favorites. That's my second favorite. The CWC, nothing has beat that for me in tournaments. The UK, when I was watching it, I didn't know who any of these motherfuckers were, so it was cool. I like that. My favorite lost to Pete was Mark Andrews. Andrews was my favorite. I liked him because that was the first time I've ever seen the Stun Dog Millionaire, was when he did that. And I was like, oh shit. Like I was like, damn, this guy's cool. But then he ended up getting his ass handed to him. But
it's crazy because I don't know why, but they got me off the bat. I wanted Tyler Bate to win. Just from like without watching anybody in the ring. I was like, they're like, yeah, this kid's only 19. And I saw the first match, and I was like, if they want to shock me, you give it to this cracker who can't even drink, who is wrestling his ass off in this ring. I was like, that would be wild to start a franchise with the youngest person in the tournament.
Oh, you're talking about Tyler Bate, right?
Yeah. Because the winner was going to be the inaugural UK champion. And I'd be like, well, they're going to build a show off this. And I was like, and I watched the first match. I watched Tyler Bates' first match. Well, the first round. I watched Tyler Bates' first match. And I was like, this nigga wrestling. What the fuck? And I was like, that would be wild shocker if you take this kid and you put the pressure to see if he can hold up and you build the show around, because you got to build it around the inaugural champion. Yeah. I was like, that's what you build. That's the face of your show. This fucking kid. And to see if he could take the pressure on that shit. Because I was like, the boy can wrestle. I was like, they really didn't get a lot of chance to talk. Yeah, they had moments where they were cutting promos. I was like, ain't nobody care about this. I don't care about this. This is a tournament. But I'm with you. I'm with you, Sangria. That first CWC.
Nothing beat it. Nothing
dude, there was too many matches that were fucking Melter. That were 8 stars in the Tokyo Dome, brother. There was too many. And they just kept getting better and better and better. The only thing I will say is Daniel Bryan said on commentary is still shit. It was worse back then because all he did was yell into the fucking shit. And the UK commentary had Nigel McGuinness. And that's
and Michael Cole. Michael Cole lost his shit. Like you could tell the chains were off Michael Cole.
And Michael Cole, he was happy, bro. He was happy.
Fun. Yeah.
He was having fun like he was having with Pat.
But the CWC, the match that'll stand out forever, Ibushi, Cedric.
And Cedric Alexander.
That's the best match of the entire tournament. I love it.
I don't think there was you're probably right. That had to be like Johnny and
Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. was also in it.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. was yeah.
So I was like, this motherfucker is awesome.
Yeah. Johnny and Tommaso probably was a close second.
Oh,
maybe third. Yeah. But then there's got to be a Zack Sabre Jr. match in there that was probably.
And that was Kota Ibushi pre-injuries. Like everybody talks about, like this was Golden Star. This is the guy. Yeah. This was back when that guy was building the lore of Kota Ibushi, not the guy who's the shell of himself now.
Yeah. What we should do is a tripod special and do a CWC tripod special and we could pretzel rate everything and talk about every match, but I digress.
That's another time.
For another day. But up next was the Women's North American Championship. We had Kelani Jordan versus Tatum Paxley. The fact that Tatum keeps getting distracted by shiny things kind of dumb to me. I mean, pre-match, post-match, fine, but not during. That's kind of stupid. The ladies put on a great match. Freaky Sleepy Chew out. The 450 disrespected again. He puts Tatum away with a one-legged frog splash. Freaky Sleepy gives Tatum a Barbie, then attacks. Ren and the no-catch cracks in the kitchen. She still wants in the group. Tony D and the family approach with an offer. If Ren wins, then Wonka gets the Heritage Cup match, and Ren can join the no-catch cracks. Cesar, we got Kalani versus Tatum. And then the offer from Tony D for Ren.
Every match I see Tatum in, she does like 1 or 2 moves, and I'm like, oh, you're going to be all right. Oh, you're going to be all right. See, you're this weird, creepy chick in the back, but then she started pulling some cracker shit. Like that match with Izzy Dane, her finisher. I like her finisher. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's a good finisher. To have. You can put it on everybody. You can do it clean. No real big long setup. But you can work a setup in however you want. And I was like, okay. Not mad at that. Then she hits that 450, and I was like, that was clean. That was clean. She hit some reversals. She hit some shit in there. And I'm like, why is you hiding this bitch? Why is this bitch in the back doing weird shit? Why ain't she wrestling more? But she could be on Level Up. We don't watch that shit.
Well, I mean, she did get the first opportunity to cross over to TNA Impact.
She did. You are correct, sir. You are correct. She was the first one to go over there. We know it was 4-L though. I mean, but we're not gonna penalize that. We're not gonna penalize that. The Juggernaut ain't gonna lose that title unless it's on a pay-per-view. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing some titles switch on TV. That's just me though. That's just me. But yeah. And then, you know what? She had a good match with the old Juggernaut, too. She did have a good match with that Juggernaut. But every time Tatum comes out there, I need to see Tatum in, a good, I need her to be in the lineup more. You know what I'm saying? Working on some crazy shit. Because every time I see her, man, she gets better and better and better. To me, she gets better. She got the weird, crazy shit in the back, and how the bitches react makes it funny or not. So I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. So I think Tatum gonna be all right. To me, she about 2-3 clicks away from like really starting to get some dubs and really be a contender, like to be a threat. You know what I'm saying? To one of these titles. Maybe not Kaylani's title because she's only had like 2 defenses. You know, by the time Kaylani gets like 5 or 6 in, I don't know if she's gonna wrestle on the TV or if she's gonna wrestle at the pay-per-view. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do her. They might have her be on TV more defending the title, while Roxanne is only like a pay-per-view title defender. You know, then maybe they'll on the big ones they'll have, you know, both of them defended. But I won't mad at it, man. I thought it was a good match. We all know Kaylani can wrestle, and Tatum keeps improving. I still dig it. I like it. And yeah, she got the crazy Barbie. She's infatuated with titles. Yeah, I ain't mad at it at all. And then Wendy Choo. So she crazy now.
Well, Sticks, we had Kalani versus Tatum. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
Like Cesar said, Tatum Paxley has gotten better and better when she's been given the opportunity. She has fully taken advantage of her TV time. Like you just talked about, Mangria, she's been on some pretty integral angles on TV. When they had Jordan Grace, she came out and kind of was, I don't want to know if you want to say interfered when she wrestled Roxanne, and then she crossed over and took full advantage of being able to wrestle on TNA. She hasn't bobbled the ball at all with the TV opportunities they have given her, which only improves her and makes her, gives her the ability to be the go-to when Shawn Michaels calls her name out for TV. Once again, she came out and she put on another stellar performance. Her and Kalani, this wasn't a drop-off at all, match-wise, on the card. I mean, like Cesar said, the 450 was great. Her reversals, you didn't get a chance to see it, but her finisher when she hits it is great. Like her name is a rising stock in NXT right now in that women's division. And if you can't, and quite frankly, you have to do that. Like you have to, on your own, raise your stock, because that women's division right now is pretty stacked. But with a few names coming in the future that have already some people know, I mean, you gotta at worst tread water, but you gotta keep being a shiny spot. And Tatum Paxley has done that. She's gonna keep herself relevant on TV, even with this loss. They're gonna still put a spotlight on her and now Sleepy Chew. I imagine they're still gonna somehow keep Kalani tangled into that, so that keeps a championship intrigue in that storyline. And as long as she keeps having matches like this, I mean, even if she goes out and if Sleepy Chew doesn't have a good match, as long as she shines, Chef Michaels will look at that and be like, okay, she didn't drop the ball, Sleepy Chew did. We got to keep her on TV because she's shining. And she's done nothing but been great. I mean, they repackaged her. She kind of wasn't really all that much on TV, but she has taken full advantage of her TV time. And if you do that, Chef's going to keep using you on the menu, man. And it was another great match from her. She's taking advantage of Kalani. Kalani's an uber athlete. I mean, she showed it. She sold the knee injury. The move she was still able to do, just essentially one-legged, was the ultimate baby face. Like, she was still able to overcome, and she didn't damage her stock at all as North American Women's Champion. Another great match in the women's division, and Chef Michael's still cooking on a Tuesday.
I know it's pretty obvious, but I'm calling it now that Freaky Sleepy and Tatum will for sure have something to do with the Halloween Havoc haunted house this segment this year. I bet you. Or they'll have a trick-or-treat fucking match.
They're going to have a trick-or-treat street fight.
Some Halloween. So one of them's going to be the host. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
Sleepy Chew hasn't talked since she's been back, so
that's true.
I think she can be the host.
It's funny because she's posting normal pictures of herself on her Twitter though. But I digress. Up next for the NXT Championship, all ego Ethan Page
Page.
puts it all on the line versus on-site Oro with the metaphor holes. This is great for Mensa stock. Since Noam has been out, Mensa has been getting some great spotlight. If you would have told me in January that Oro Mensa will have an NXT Championship match at the Great American Bash, I would have said, who? And on the other end, though, Ethan Page with a very short list of W's. Does this do anything for All Ego? I would have loved to have seen a triple threat with Ethan, Trick, and Spears, or maybe another one-on-one with the young OG, maybe a ladder match, but more credible foes to strengthen Page's run. Oro with an incredible backflip kick as to Ego as he's perched on the turnbuckle. Ego puts Oro through a picnic table by the entrance. All Ego does retain in a really good match. This ain't NXT. It's NX Me. Sticks, your boy. The champion, not in the main event, but in a good match nonetheless. What'd you think?
I thought this was a great match. Yeah, the list of dubs isn't as strong, but they're progressing a storyline. Like you wondered who took out On Site, and then you wonder who took out the Supernova. Well, I mean, Supernova, as far as we have seen on just the brief segments, he's rehabbing, he's coming back. So that's on the horizon. This match against On Site as NXT champion, you need to go out there. Not only do you need to have a good match, but you also need to help strengthen your opponent. You need to make it so not only do you pick up a dub, but you also make your opponent look very worthy of having this shot. And On Site looked very worthy of having an NXT championship match. Like, this man could, even though he lost, in a couple of weeks, he could freaking have a match against Oba, and probably get destroyed. But he would look strong as a strong contender going in to that match and have legit reason for that because he put on a banger with the NXT champion. But Ethan Page, this just shows you what Tony Khan fumbled the ball with. You had glimpses, but those were in a tag team with Scorpio Sky. The one thing that I'm always going to remember from AEW in his run was him throwing Darby Allin threw it down a flight of stairs outside on Daly's place. That was the beginning of Darby's just getting destroyed physically every week on AEW television. That's the only thing. Otherwise, the guy had a strong name coming out of TNA, and he dropped the ball on him. Now Chef Michaels has him and has built him up. Like they talked about 6 weeks on NXT TV, and then he became NXT champion. A lot of people are going to have mixed reviews on that, and I understand. But like, as a man who has watched majority of his career, I knew that if he made it in the WWE, he was already, like, he was what they were looking for, body-wise, moveset-wise. The only thing that you could really say he needs a little work on was probably his promos. But out the gates, he wasn't one of those that you had to stick in promo class for a month and then give the mic to. He's decent on the mic, and he's shown it. He's improving. But as the champion, he is elevating his contenders. I like the storyline that they had going into this. Oro legit had not legit, but he had pinned him like 2 to 3 weeks straight. Now they weren't legit matches, but it was something that was burning Ethan Page's ego. Like, that was always in the back of his mind. The crowd was chanting 1, 2, 3. And so there was a niche in there for ego. Like, we all know what On Site's motivation was for this. Page attacked him, so he was going to do it. He wanted to get his revenge. Now, On Site didn't pick up the dub, but he looked super strong in this match. And as NXT champion, you need to be able to keep the stock of your opponent on the rise, or at least right where it was going into the match. And Ethan Page did that, and it was a great match.
Yeah, I mean, because of this match, I could see Noam and Oro going for the NXT tag titles. Like, because he just, like you said, his stock is rising. Noam returns. They could form a tag team, go for that gold. Because I mean, it's only uphill for Metaphor, Cesar. After this, what'd you think? The NXT Championship was defended, all Ego versus on site.
I thought it was a really good match as well. You said it didn't do anything for Ego, but I think with his character, it's gonna do something because he's gonna be like,
Well,
yeah,
technically, I asked. Does it?
oh, okay. Well, then, if you ask me,
Yes, I'm asking.
yes, yes.
Okay.
But I have a certain thing I don't know if you guys saw this. You know me. I look for the angles. I look for the shit. I see the nigga captions, the shit y'all didn't see. You know what I'm saying? And I've noticed something. I've noticed that when it's a championship on the line, when Ego wins, it's nothing that he did. It's something that the opponent did. He won the title because Trick hit 2 Trick knees, right? It's not that Ego hit the Edge and then pinned Javon. It was Trick hit the 2 Trick knees. And then with the main man, he slipped on the rope, which caused him to miss, which caused to give Ego the distraction in order to win. So it's not like I'm just, stay with me here. I don't know if it's a reach or not, but Oro bounced and slipped, which caused Ego to get the win. If he wouldn't have slipped, could he have won the match? I'm just saying, if somebody's looking for a reason to get a match with Ego, to be like, yeah, Ego, yeah, you did it in 6 months, but you didn't do it. Trick did it. Oro slipped. Something happened. I want to see the next title match with him. I want to see if there's something else. If that's what they're cooking. I don't know if they're cooking this intentionally, which I think could be great because he is a heel and heels always need something. Because Ego's going to say, no, I beat him clean. I hit him with the Ego's edge. You saw me win. You saw me win. No, I saw him slip, which gave you the chance to hit him with the Ego's edge. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
It helps whoever's going to be the one that dethrones him.
Yeah.
It's a big talking point that their promo going in against Page will be based on. Like, you didn't win these, you got lucky. It was your opponent's not, I don't know if you want to say taking their eye off the ball, but it was just it was like you said, a bobble. It was like a trick. Trick hit the Trick knee. And then Spears pulled him out.
Yeah.
Oro slipped. You didn't dominantly beat this person. It took a bobble. It took just plain bad luck on your opponent.
Like dumb luck on the opponent's part.
Or not, or you took advantage of, like, Trick was a young champion, a fresh. He's still kind of green. And he got caught up in the moment. Oro been trying to fight you for weeks, and he told you the longer it takes, the more the ass whooping's gonna be. And they gave these brothers time. Like, this match cooked. Yeah, like you said, Maker, he had a goddamn Street Fighter 2 flash kick in the goddamn corner. Okay? Oro, I didn't know Oro had all these spinning kicks in his system. Girl, he was fucking flipping, dippy, kicking. I was like, I knew Oro. Once again, you watch that NXT UK, you'll see where that man Oro Mensah is from. Okay, get your bitch ass on that cock, peacock. I mean, unless you Mike Honcho, unless you like that shit. I mean, get on the cock if you want. I mean, we don't hate here, except for Jake. We hate Jake, but we don't hate here, you know. But damn, Oro Mensah was back cooking again. I was wondering they gonna let Oro Mensah cook, man, because I know he was on NXT UK and he was getting it in. I don't think he won that cup, but over there. But I think he had some shots at it. But I was just wondering if you brothers noticed that again, because I like this. I like this because it looks like he won it clean, right? He didn't put his feet on the ropes. He had his foot under the rope at one time. I thought Lash Legend was gonna push that shit in, and that would have made a funny thing because they're still supposed to kind of both be heels, but you just hate one of them more. So I don't know. Is Metaphor turning face? Or is it because the crowd hates Ego so much and Oro is just about the crowd loves violence. So if you showing up on site whooping ass, the crowd's gonna get behind you. So is Meta 3 turning face and is when Noam gets back, he's gonna get a pop.
It's almost like Paige and Trick are almost on parallels because Trick he hit that knee, but he lost himself in the moment because him and Dunn had a moment in between and it hulked up Trick, and then he went for that Trick knee, but Dunn used that against him. He used his no momentum. So
because he's a
veteran.
Then,
like you said, in that championship match,
yep.
Trick got lost in the moment. Well, now you have two matches where those two kind of on the same night. They had two things where one, Paige didn't necessarily win it. It was just dumb luck. And then he had that the night where they're face each other in that match. And then the same night match on the same match card, Trick lost sight of it. Well, the same match, he got lucky, but also on the same night, his opponent slipped on the rope. So it's almost kind of like if you want to keep building them on a parallel, on the same night to if Trick's going to be that guy that makes it back to the top and beats Paige, you could run those parallels almost together until they get there, and then Trick doesn't take his eye off the ball. But Ego still doesn't. But then Ego, there isn't a moment in the match where Ego can't capitalize on
because Trick isn't taking his mind off the ball.
Exactly. Yeah. And then that's how Trick is able to dethrone him, and then Paige loses.
Yeah, if it's Trick. Because I don't know, because I feel like they're giving the wins to veterans who are not taking their eye off the ball or just taking advantage of situations. So will it be another veteran they're bringing down or somebody, or will, like you said, will Trick get back to that main event spot and he's learned from his mistakes from wrestling maybe some Pete Dunnes and whoever else he gets in a feud with, that Pete is figure it out. You're green. Figure it out. You're not taking advantage of certain situations. And this is what champions or veterans like myself do.
Up next was Joe Hendry versus Joe Coffey, the Battle of the Joes. Of course, Coffey with Gallus. He's got the people. He's got the song. He's got Booker singing in the shower.
You damn right.
And the man starts the match dive bombing on Gallus. Joe Hendry ain't playing, and we believe. Hendry cleverly gets Gallus tossed out, Eddie Guerrero style.
Oh, yeah.
Don't stop believing. And Joe Hendry, the crowd starts chanting. Standing ovation for Coffey for the pin and win. Book believes. Not Kinsey interviews Hendry in the ring, and Hendry says he wants to stay in NXT a little bit longer. Chase U. It's a new classroom thanks to Ridge. Duke and Thea are sad. Ridge got Chase U a tag title shot, but it's Andre and Ridge, not Duke. Seeds planted. Cesar.
Damn it.
Joe Hendry. Joe Gallus. I mean, Joe Gallus.
Joe Gallus.
Might as well. What'd you think of that?
Now that's they're all brothers now. They're all named Gallus.
Gallus. No.
Yeah. The best part of this match was Book, especially near the end when Joe was cooking, and Book was like, "Oh, you know what, Vic? I think I believe." And then Joe was cooking, and then at the end, I don't know if y'all noticed it on the screenshot down. Book was waving his hands when Joe won. Yeah, you got to go back and watch. It was when Joe won, and they're playing that part where it's like "Say man," and the crowd swinging. If you look, Vic and Book are just Vic is doing it, and then Book goes. He slowly puts him up, and then he sees Vic, and he's like, and then they're both doing this.
Vic talks about Book being the president of 3 fan clubs.
The 3 fan clubs,
The JC Jane,
JC Jane,
Alexis King,
yeah,
and
Joe
Henry
Coffey,
fan clubs.
and Joe Henry, Joe Henry, yeah. He's like, Book's the vice, he's the president of 3 fan clubs. I think he calls him Mr. President a couple times. But yeah, near the end when Book starts getting on that Joe Hendry train, he starts cooning, and then he does wave the hands, and that shit was funny as fuck, bro. Because soon as they zoomed out, I was like, I'm gonna see what Book does because the crowd's waving. I'm like, Vic's waving. I'm like, this cooning nigga. I was like, this cooning.
Funny
nigga.
enough, he might be the president of the Lexus King fan club, but Lexus actually went to Reality of Wrestling, Book's promotion, and lost. He lost the fucking match.
Of course he did.
To one of Book's guys. But Joe Henry will be appearing in Reality Wrestling, collaboration made on Twitter. It was this past week. But sorry, Cesar. What?
No. Of course he did, man. Lexus King also likes Book, so he thought he put one of his guys over. Of course, man, because Lexus King is a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a real good guy.
You just like the chair.
Of course I like the chair. The chair is awesome. Who wouldn't want that chair? Bitch, that chair is the coolest entrance since Rey Mysterio popped out the ring in 1998. Talking about who's that coming out in the sky? R-E-Y, Mysterio. Here we go. Damn right, bitch. Like the damn chair. The damn chair is the coolest shit since that. You can't tell me nobody besides Rusev in that goddamn tank. Okay, I'm gonna give it to Rey Mysterio, Rusev in the tank, and then it's the char. Okay, coldest entrances in WWE. Top 3 list. Call your mama if you got a problem. See me in the comments, bitch. But no, great match against old Gallus here. Fuck that nigga. That nigga is Joe Gallus. Great match here with old Gallus. Hitting the he does a spin. The bell don't even ring, and this nigga jumping outside the ring, taking crackers out in the street clothes. I was like, good God. I was like, okay, that's how we on tonight. We on some bullshit. I was like, I can be with this. I'm down for some bullshit. But yeah, old Joe and old Joe going at it in the ring. Seemed like they done wrestled before. They had good chemistry. It was clicking good. The fuck shit with the chair, getting them ejected and then going for the roll up. I do have one problem with our man Joe Hendry though. I got one problem. I'm sorry, guys. I got one problem with our man Joe Hendry. I don't like the standing ovation as his finisher. I don't like it. He doesn't seem like a choke slam guy. I get it. He's muscle. They're all muscly, and I get it. He when he slaps it on big guys, like when he slapped it on Moose. I mean, it seems believable, but he just doesn't. You've only seen choke slam from like 8 foot tall niggas. Like I don't like a 6'5" nigga throwing a choke slam. It's credible. I thought he'd have a bigger slam or something more extravagant because he's Joe Hendry. You know what I mean? He's got the crazy long entrance. He makes the crazy songs. No, I thought he'd have like a crazy powerbomb variant or some kind of ignorant cutter. Like that nigga hit on Nathan Frazier where he fucking walked up the ropes, bounced, flipped that shit into a cutter. I want some crazy shit like that from Joe Hendry. But something he can slap on everybody. I don't know. It just seems kind of basic to me. But I mean, that's my only thing about it. He's still great. I mean, he still had a great match. And I like how he's fucking with Gallus. And yeah, they've all come up. They're all Scotsmen, so I'm pretty sure they've all wrestled in Scotland before, like on the indies over there before they all came.
Well, they talked about it. I'm sure we're going to talk about it when we go to TNA, but
TNA, yeah.
I think the announcers talked about that during the TNA broadcast during Joe Hendry's match on Thursday.
But yeah, man, like it was a great match. I have no complaints about it. It was a great match. I did like how he brought the broken guitar. This nigga brought the broken guitar from last week. That's the little things. That's that Randy Orton little thing shit. Brought the fucking guitar with the ring. So yeah, great match. That's, I don't know. It's just something to me, it's just off about it. But
Yeah, I mean, they just recently feuded with Flop Dollar, who now has the exact same move, which he calls the down payment. They're identical, the standing ovation and the down payment.
Down payment, yeah.
Like, all right. But yeah, Sticks, we had the Battle of the Joes on night 2 of the Great American Bash. What'd you think?
It was a good match. I mean, I don't think it really did anything to hinder Joe Hendry's momentum. I mean, this guy has so much momentum on TV and on the internet. Bringing him over, kind of waiting to have him have the spotlight on NXT TNA television, it helped instead of just rushing it during Jordan Grace's time. Like, you saw the bubbling of Joe Hendry's momentum on both TVs, and then once Jordan was done and gone, it started going in full effect. I mean, we had the Rascals reunion, which we'll talk a little bit more about here in a little bit. But I mean, it didn't really do much to hinder that either. But I mean, you knew he had a lot of momentum just on TNA television with making up the songs for his opponents, and then the momentum of just his own song on charts for doing good. His in-ring work is okay. I agree with Cesar. I'd like to see him get a finisher that you could slap on everybody, but maybe he's working on that. Maybe that's something we get down the line. Maybe the standing ovation will go either into like just a setup to that, or maybe it's a once-off. But outside of that, I mean, the match, it was a good match. I liked how before the bell he jumped over the rope, took those guys out. I liked how he was able to eliminate the outside interference part. I liked how he was able to do that with the old Eddie Guerrero, which allowed him to go one-on-one with good to the last drop Joe Coffey. So outside that, I don't think it was a bad match. I mean, it wasn't as great as the first couple that we had, but it also wasn't one of those that you're like, okay, this is gonna be so horrible. I'm gonna go take a bathroom break and then jump on my phone. I mean, it's one of those you still could watch, and then, when it went to picture in picture, maybe go to the bathroom. But I mean, it kept his momentum going. So that's, if at worst that's what you get out of a match, then they got that.
Well, up next was real good storytelling, of course. It was the next chapter in the Ren Sinclair No Quarter Crackers versus Kendall Gray with Carly Bright, of course. It was a decent match. Miles and Wonka shenanigans, but not directly affecting the match, really. Ren puts Kendall away with the 1%er, which I was going to mention, Cesar, would be a cool finisher for Joe Hendry, the 1% percenter. It's not like over the top, but
yeah, but it's something different.
Yeah, so he could do it to anybody.
Yep.
And but I guess from now, Ren is gonna take the 1%er, which is fine.
You got it.
She is now a no quarter catch crack. Wonka gets his Heritage Cup match as well. The main event of the night is what everyone was talking about. It was for the NXT Tag Team Championship. I was like, why are they making this a main event? But by the end of the night, we all found out. Yeah. It was the Fast and the Frasers versus MSK. The fastest NXT main event returns. Both teams are incredible. Another extended Bronco bust by Zach to Frazier. These four flying so much, they acquiring frequent flyer miles. The Rascals have been on quite the roll lately, but Fast and the Fraserists have put away a great list of formidable teams. Miscommunication by Frazier and Axiom. The kicks that have been flying are brutal. Each team hit each other with their best shot, but the Fast and the Fraserists retain and a hell of a main event. And we all, oh, that was cool. Everyone's hugging. I was like, well, they're lingering a little too much on this. Wes.
That's why you got to check the time. You got to check the time, Sangria.
Turns on the Rascals. Heel Wes gonna cook. This is good. This is what
this nigga gonna feed generations of wig chicks.
Wait, because he needed a character refresh, and this is what is going to refresh it. Sticks. MSK versus the Fast and the Fraser.
This was a great tag team championship match. This was main event worthy. We had storylines. MSK coming back together. They didn't lose their tag team championships They were stripped of them, which, I mean, if you don't read the internet and didn't know why, you were like, okay, they got stripped. All of us pretty much read the internet stuff, so we kind of knew what happened. They weren't legit. It was kind of a bogus reason that Zach got canned, but WWE was acting on getting out ahead of it and stuff like that. But I digress.
Yeah, you gotta. I'm sorry, man. It's a world where you're guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly. And so
tell me about it.
We know, bitch. We know. But hey, that's hey, no sexist shit. But some shit is when using man, you're guilty until proven innocent. But as a black man in America, I'm just saying, it's how I live my life.
I will give Zach this. During the time and when that man has come back, I've watched him on the indies and then come back to TNA. He's rebuilt himself. Like he's rebuilt his wrestling stock, coming back TNA, bringing him back, putting him with Trey, basically reuniting 2 out of the 3 Rascals was great for both of them. For Trey, I mean, Trey can wrestle. When he brought him back, he was in the middle of his X Division run as a heel. Great thing to do. Tag team match. Let's get back to this. MSK didn't lose their tag team championships. The Rascals, MSK, they talked to you why they could bounce back and forth between the 2 different factions, all that stuff. So there's motivation behind this. And then like you said, in the match, the miscommunication. Well, also with Fast and Frazier, both guys, Frazier was competing in speed. Axiom didn't like it. Well, they were still able to retain their championship during that. So Axiom's like, oh, okay, well, if you can do this and we still can retain, I'm going to go do that. Frazier was on the other side of the fence then. You saw, I think there was a miscue during their one match when that happened. So we had this miscue again, the super kick that Frazier sold. Like he sold, like everybody was like, you even heard the crowd go, oh, and like the way Axiom was holding him was like, oh shit. Like then the tide turned. I think
did you notice that? So when Nathan was competing for speed, he's the one who kicked Axiom their last championship match. And now that Axiom is competing for speed, he's the one who's kicked Nathan, and they're not on sync.
And those are great things to watch as like wrestling fans as we are. When we see that stuff, we're like, oh shit, that is great. Because I mean, you watch wrestling for the action in the ring, but also you watch it for the storytelling in the ring. Not only if it's however long the story is, you watch it in the ring for outside the ring stuff. And that was just both those times that those happened were great for just the story of Frazier and Axiom, not only being tag team champions, but also looking at other prizes outside of being tag team champions. But this match was great. After that, he hit Zach, I believe, hit that UFO cutter, which is great. I mean, that match is that move is great. Zachary Wentz, which I think we'll talk about probably when we talk about TNA. This guy is showing that he can be a good to great singles wrestler, but as a tag team wrestler, being able to hit that stuff, being able to hold your own. I mean, you have to with a guy like Wesley, because that man for a long time was like and probably could be said as possibly one of the best North American champions. Like his work in the ring. So when you tag up with that guy, you can't be the short end of the stick of that team. Like you got to come out and you got to do stuff. He held his own in the ring. This match was great. You had a lot of back and forths. You had a lot of near finishes. Like when they hit their finisher, when MSK did, and they ended up getting, I think it was, what was it, Axiom or Frazier was able to break it up. Your heart was like, oh shit. And then when they did their Spanish fly to the Phoenix, that didn't hit it. And then they hit their legit finisher, what was it, the Brainbuster, Golden Ratio, while he's holding them, drop them down. And then you thought, oh, that's over with. No, that wasn't it. And then it finally took like a deep Golden Ratio kick to finish it. I mean, great match. You had great in-ring chemistry, great near finishes. And then like you guys said, it was lingering. Like you had a little bit of time, like the hugs, all stuff. You're like, okay. And then the West turn. You, as you're watching this, you're hearing Wes yelling at these guys, yelling at Zach. You turned on me. You left me alone. So there was that in the back of the head. But my girlfriend also brought this out when she watched it. This could have TNA trends for Trey, because both those guys left him. Like, both those guys left to go to NXT. Mm-hmm. And Trey was on his own. Like, I think they legit ran a treehouse promo where it was just Trey in the treehouse. Like, he's talking, he's just legit in the treehouse, is looking around like, all my brothers are gone. Like, I'm here by myself. Like, he had to go on a singles run like Wes Lee had to after Zach left. So you also have that. Like, this could go a lot of different ways between two TV shows. And that's great television. As a wrestling fan, you got three guys that are great in-ring performers. And you've got an integral storyline that could go a lot of different ways with all three guys. Both, Chef Michaels, he's going to cook this shit up. Like, he's going to cook it. It's going to be how TNA does it on their end, if they decide to do the trade thing, or just even how they do it on their end, on their own TV show. Like, if Wes shows up there, like, don't fumble the ball on this. Keep the momentum going for both shows, because it's there. Like, you're there. Don't mess this up, because this has great potential for great television.
Yeah, the Great American Bash as a whole was fantastic, and then the cinema that will follow this with the setup they did at the end of this match is going to be great as well, Cesar. We had the main event for the tag titles, but if you want to dip into Ren versus Kendall,
yeah,
as well.
I like Ren joining the No Quarter Cracks. We all know future booking, it's going to be the family versus the No Quarter Cracks. Because now there's three guys and one girl. They're going to have a head-to-head. And Tony's been handing out these cup championships to the members of the No Quarter Cracks. Mm-hmm. So obviously it's going to happen. I don't know what kind of match it's going to be, but obviously it's going to happen. I'm here for it. Let's keep it going. Tony finally got the gold he deserves besides the tag team championship. But I'm waiting for Stacks and them. Maybe they've been on Level Up. I'm waiting for Stacks and the Lawyer. I guess they're probably waiting on the Lawyer to develop a little bit more. Maybe he's been on Level Up, but I'm waiting for Stacks and the Lawyer to get in this tag team shenanigans that we got going on. Ren versus what's your girl that's been beating up the people? She's new. I mean, what? It's like her third match on TV. She cooking with Ren. They had a great match. The girl can wrestle. She's got to click some things. She ain't really talked yet, so they're going to work on that. And then she got her friend she with, so they working it out. But it was a good match. Ren gets the win. The No Quarter Cracks got another shot at the Heritage Cup, and we'll get into that. The main event. Yeah, the fastest tag teams in the ring out here cooking like they only can. This was a phenomenal match. As always, the Fast and the Frasers hits their spots. The Spanish Fly, the Phoenix Splash. Yeah, the elongated Bronco Buster. They even hit the backflip Kamehameha shit on them too. Fucking MSK out there cooking. They got Trey on the outside. He watching. See, Trey, you should have had that spray paint, nigga. You'd have had that spray paint. MSK would have that gold. I'm not mad at it. But like Sticks, I see the possibilities. And one of the possibilities I think we're going to get into, just give me a second. When I say, let me talk about this. In the next show we're going to talk about, y'all know what we're going to talk about. I have a future bookie thing in mind. I don't know if y'all thought about this. Y'all probably have. But anyway, the match was great. Fast and Frasers. Yeah, like you said, getting the dub again, even with the miscues and hurting each other. Like I said, Axiom got kicked last time. Frazier got kicked this time. I do like the way they talk about the Speed Championship on like almost every show, even though you don't see the winner with the title with whatever show they're on. And I like the way they bring it up almost every show. They bring it up in Raw. They bring it up on SmackDown. They bring it up on NXT. It's on Twitter. I've watched a couple, man. They're only like 3 minute. They're 3 minute matches. They're cooking. They're like it's literally, if you don't want no promos, no drama, and you want two dudes in there hitting their moves. Click, 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 boom. Like fuck, you can't beat it. You almost like literally cannot beat it. It's so good. It's really, really good. I don't mind it at all. They do the damn thing on that.
And the women are gonna be doing it next.
Yeah, see, and that's what I want to see. I want to see these broads, get ready to let loose. Some of these broads are gonna. I think this is where you can see the talent of wrestling, because you're gonna have to be. Yeah, it's quick. So you're going to have to like transition. You don't have to take those long breaks. You're not going to take the technical moves like super, super seriously. You're going to be able to get in them, get out them, do whatever you got to do. So I'm really looking forward to them having, Speed's Woman Championship as well. And see, like this is the crazy thing, because they're introducing a new championship, right? But it's not on TV anywhere. So unless you really, really are deep marks like us, it's out of sight, out of mind. Casual fan is not going to check Twitter every Thursday at like noon to watch the Speed show, but if they talk about it, you might be like, what the fuck are they talking about? Maybe I need to like figure out when this shit is. So I think that's great. I the main event though, this is the only thing I want to talk about. I still think Thea and Roxanne, to me, might not be to y'all, was a better main event than this night's main event. I really like their match just because
it was good, but as far as storytelling goes, I gotta go MSK and
storytelling. It was a year storytelling. You forgot Thea wrestled Tiffany Stratton last year's Great American Bash main event and lost. Now she lost again, but it's literally been a year of when you saw Thea last year, you saw Thea this year, you saw a shit ton of progress.
Yeah.
Of who Thea was when she wrestled Tiffany Stratton, and you were like, all right, this is like a gimmick kind of match because she doesn't have anything that she can contribute. To, damn, this bitch actually improved like tenfold, like with her storytelling, with her wrestling, with her selling, with her pulling off moves, with the reversals they had, just because they haven't wrestled really a lot that we know on TV. They could have been wrestling, house shows or whatever. But on TV, her and Roxanne doing the reversals they did, to me, to get out of each other's moves, her blocking that shit where she jumps off the second rope, kind of like a low end fucking Darby coffin drop shit the first time, her countering, I don't know how many pop rocks, how many fucking cross faces, everything. It was just like, we know Roxanne's probably going to be the one to carry this match, but I felt like it was like 60-40. It wasn't really like 80-20 what I expected.
She didn't have to carry it very much because Thea was able to just counter everything. Like I wholeheartedly agree with you on everything. Like Thea's progression from main event last year to main event this year is light years ahead.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's better to me, because like
I'm looking back at my notes from because I did take notes from the American Bash.
But I'm gonna say like
it was very female driven by the way.
Yeah, the week one. I'm gonna say like, because I know at their peak, MSK and Fast and the Frasers are four really good wrestlers that are gonna have a great tag team match. So the only way it would surprise me is if they had a bad match, which they didn't. They had a phenomenal match. But I was going in like, really, how is Thea gonna compare to Roxanne? How are they really gonna drive like this is a threat to Roxanne? Because like they're building Roxanne as like, it's not a world beater, but it is, it's like she's not losing, but people are putting up fights. And I'm like, come on, how Thea gonna put up this fight? And to me, she did.
It was
I
a
damn
great
near say
match.
it was 60-40. I want to say it was a great match. I mean, it was that I will say is Thea Hale's best match in WWE, hands down.
I agree.
Hands down. And that's why I say it's probably a little better. I'm not saying it was worlds better. I'm just saying to me, it was a little bit better for me night one. Like, that was the main event. I was like, oh shit, this bitch might actually win. They might actually pull this shit. Because yes, no. I'm just saying because it's been a year in the making. She fucking fought for this title last year, damn near in the main event of like a night one. And now she's fighting for the title again. Night one. And then that was like the downfall of Chase U. So now it's the upbuild of Chase U. So I was like, damn, they really might come full circle with this. Like, because that was when Andre Chase bet the farm. He lost it. Everything went downhill. JC Jane had to save it, come back. Now it's fucking Thea Hale. She back. She with Chase U. She got a new shirt. They're saying it was because of her. The new shirt. She got new merch. She coming back. She fighting. Are they really gonna pull this trigger? It's a TV PLE, but are they really gonna pull this trigger? Like, damn, is Roxanne going to the main roster? Is there a drought somewhere? Do they need somebody on fucking main roster? Because that's the only reason I see them taking the title off Roxanne. But yeah, Roxanne still won, which, it was great. But, it was way more, I thought way more, it was, it could happen there versus anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, if we were ranking the matches, I would give the tag team title match, the beer cheese, and Roxanne versus Thea close second. But yeah, Great American Bash overall was incredible.
If we were doing both nights, those two matches would get the beer cheese.
They were both weeks were on Sci-Fi, huh?
Yeah. Everything was on Sci-Fi for like those 2 weeks.
I don't even know what the ratings were. I didn't even check.
I didn't check either, but if we were doing overall, yes, the tag match would get the beer cheese, but Roxanne and Thea, we got right below it.
Yeah,
right. It would be the same rating, just not with beer cheese.
They're both neck and neck. Like you were splitting hairs on a lot of stuff.
It's like 8 in the beer cheese versus 8.
8, yeah. And they were both deserving of the main event on each show.
For sure. But thankfully, they'll be back on USA, so they'll be getting a boost in ratings tomorrow. It's going to be a good night. Up next is the TNA Impact Wrestling match of the week was Trent Seven versus Cesar's man, Jake something, versus Speedball Mock Bailey, the X Division champion. This was a great fucking match because of the stakes that Speedball put on the line. He said it was the ultimate X qualifier, where if Speedball loses, his fucking X Division title is taken from him.
Up for grabs.
Yeah, it's up for grabs, vacated. Crazy stakes, of course, like I said. It was a great triple threat match. Jake something uses Speedball as a fucking weapon to attack Trent Seven with. With Speedball on his back, fucking Jake something power bombs Trent Seven's fat ass. He does collapse, but I mean, can you blame him? Speedball, Mountain fighting each other. It's great. The Ultimo weapon puts something away as Speedball qualifies for the Ultimate X match that returns for Emergence, right, Sticks? It's going to be at Emergence.
Yeah.
What did you think, Cesar? This was the first match of the night for Impact. What'd you think?
Yeah. So we get Santino with old Speedball, and he was talking about the Ultimate X, which would be Six Crackers, right?
Yeah.
Six Crackers is gonna fight for that X Division title. I like the way they're like, yeah, the X Division we're always looking big and better, and it's the best division. Nigga, y'all just ain't got no rules. It's just that anybody can fight for it. Yeah, I mean, it's like the heavyweight championship. I mean, damn, there's no weight limits, there's no nothing. Yeah, y'all just fighting. Yeah, get to fighting. I'm cool with that. But yeah, like I was kind of agreeing with Aiden English. With my boy Aiden English, he was like, yeah, if Speedball, who doesn't have to be pinned
You
in
called
this
him
match,
dumb?
yeah, and he loses, the X Division championship is on the line at the match,
Yeah.
and then so nobody will be the X Division champion until we'll crown a new one. But like, yeah, if he wins, he's in the match, which he could have just been in the match, and they find five other assholes. But no, he wanted to qualify to be in the match, so he has everything to lose and nothing to gain because he still has to wrestle in the match. But he was smart enough to go first. Let's think about it. If he'd have won 6, then it would have probably been like the go home show or something, or maybe a week before that. And then he would have wrestled, had the go home promo, and then been in the match. So yeah, this nigga crazy. And then yeah, he picks Jake something, and then he picks his tag team partner. Like, why didn't y'all just put him with somebody else, like 2 other people? Yeah, is this all going to be 3-way matches?
Let me throw this out to you because we saw later he go up to a certain tag team that we legit are saying God's greatest tag team and is doing God's work, and he asked both of them to be in the X, like Ultimate X. And imagine him with those 2 in a qualifier. I mean,
see, I don't see. I think they'll be smart and they'll do it how the Rascals did, and they won't be in the same qualifier.
Well, that's a smart thing to do. Then have the payoff to that possibly be in the Ultimate X,
and then work together to beat everybody else, and then fight it out to see who wins the title. And this is the match I have like a certain thing about. But I mean, if we want to talk about it now, we can. But if not, I think a great twist is because of, well, I guess we'll wait for the match and then I'll say it.
Yeah, what'd you think of this match?
But this match was great. Yeah. We even got cooking in the beginning where Speedball hit that flip to the outside, trying to hit Jake something, but hit Trent Seven. So everybody's trying to you get that feeling. And then like, yeah, he shook Trent Seven's hand at the beginning, but not Jake something, because fuck that guy. But yeah, fucking 275. Damn, this bitch is big. Jake something fucking, what is he? 6'5", 275? Nigga just needs 10 pounds and 4 inches, and he's a fucking LeBron. All right, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You shouldn't have a big nigga like this wrestling these small crackers. He should be throwing their ass into the 5th row. I hit the poison Rana on that man too. Dirty, just dirty. I do like the way Speedball does. I guess they still call them super kicks, but they're more like, I guess if you followed martial arts, more thrust kicks. The way he hits that thrust kick, where it's so like straight, but it's not like he snaps the leg, but it's like, bah, where it's like he hits those because he hit him twice with one. I don't think they should call them super kicks. I think they should call them more thrust kicks. He looks just more martial arts with it than anybody else does, like a kick out of nowhere. But he sets it up and he just like, it looks like he just like holds it and then pops his knee out for like maximum potential to hit you. Those always look clean. Yeah, Ultimate X, fucking banger of a finisher. Hit that boy, pinned him, got the dub, and at least put himself in the Ultimate X match. But yeah, like I know I get it. They have other pay-per-views, but I mean, but they were teasing the trailer for Bound for Glory. Why would you not save this for Bound for Glory? You know what I'm saying? Bound for Glory just like 2 months away. Why would you not do this for Bound for Glory? Why are you doing this on Insurgents? So now I want to know what you're gonna do for Bound for Glory. Because like if I'm thinking about it, you just had like a 6-man match for the heavyweight championship at the last pay-per-view. And now this pay-per-view, you're having a 6-man match for the Ultimate X division. Like you should have, spaced this out and done it for Bound for Glory. and had Insurgents just like Speedball having a one-on-one match, to get his first title defense, not to be a fucking Ultimate X match, but to be like, a regular match, like against somebody great though. But it's I'm not writing the show. I'm not writing the show. I'm just watching the show. So, but good match overall.
Yeah, Cesar, when you were mentioning Speedball's thrust kicks, it gave me shades of Carmen Petrovic when she does those thrust kicks.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they look clean, right? They look great.
Like
they look clean. And it's something it's something different than just a super kick, but it's a kick to the jaw. So it always looks good.
Yeah, Sticks, this Ultimate X qualifier was fucking straight fire. What'd you think of it? Triple threat match.
I'll just keep it short and sweet. Cesar said all the things that need to be said. This was a banger of an opener. I mean, this was a great opener. All three guys showed up, showed you why they're legit contenders and why they need to be in a qualifier. And TNA started off cooking.
Yeah, and up next we had normal Kushida versus normal John Gresham. Match we were gonna see. We were gonna see at what was Slammiversary kickoff, but several issues happened. It was the battle of the technical professionals. Kushida gets the submission victory with a hoverboard lock. It was a good short match, Sticks. What'd you think?
This was a great short technical match. If you're a wrestling fan, you already knew what you're gonna get from these two guys because they are in the top 10 of like technical wrestling. And they didn't go out there, they didn't disappoint. I mean, they showed it. It left you kind of wondering what was, like they even foreshadowed it. They were interviewing Jonathan Gresham. He just looked like plain Jane Jonathan Gresham. And then Kushida came up
too. Bright colors.
Yeah. I mean, he had the baby face look. He had the face trunks, face colors, face attitude, and Kushida was kind of thrown off a little bit. You kind of see that a little bit during the match, but all in all, great short technical match. Showed you why these guys are, and in my opinion, probably in a lot of your guys in the top 10, possibly top 5 of just technical wrestlers alone. Why they're up there, and it was a good second match to have.
Well, let's hit on this one real quick. The open challenge from Jordan Grace was answered by Rosemary. The match didn't have an official end because of Ash by Elegance. What'd you think of that?
I didn't mind it. There's some storylines built in because of the last championship match, and then with the shenanigans that Rosemary had with the personal concierge. I was actually kind of glad they had Rosemary answer this, just for the fact that she's going through, I guess you would say, maybe a character remake. She's doing things different. She's doing stuff differently. So to have her go out and up until the interference, she was putting up a hell of a good fight against Jordan Grace, and it left you wanting more. I mean, probably more likely we're going to get maybe a triple threat out of this, but I mean, storyline wise, all three of these women are somewhat intertwined in it. So, I mean, I guess if you want to say it ruined the possibility of a good match. But if we get all three and they go out there and they have a great match themselves, either on TV or on a PLE, it's not being bad. So I wasn't mad at it. It showed both girls had the potential to be putting on a good bangers knockout match. And now we progress the storyline.
And technically, like you said, if it does lead to a triple threat, it's a way to get the belt off of Jordan without her actually getting pinned. Cesar, we had normal Kushida versus normal Jonathan Gresham, and then Jordan versus Rosemary. What'd you think?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great too. Like Jonathan Gresham came to the interview and not Kinsey, wearing the normal trunks, and he's like, "I've been gone for a while, but I feel good. I'm great to be back." And I'm like, oh, this nigga doing the split personality. Okay. When he got COVID, he the evil octopus spreading germs and shit. But yeah, he vampire style or werewolf style at night. This nigga the evil, but it's during the day right now. Yeah, Thriller, Mike Jack, 1980 something. Yeah, but he went for the shake hand, and Kushida's like, Nigga, I don't trust you, son. Oh, fried rice. Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Kushida was like that. And then, he like, nah. He's like, nah, bro. Fried chicken. We good. Fried chicken, fried rice. We on the same page. And he's like, no, trust you, motherfucker. Oh. But he shook his hand. And they went out to that ring and they put on a classic. Because that's only how Kushida wrestles. He wrestles like an N64. Classic. All right, you stupid sons of bitches. That's how he wrestles every damn time in the ring. Look here, Shawn Michaels. You fumbled that nigga, okay? You fumbled that nigga. You lucky you got this TNA contract, so maybe he could float his ass back in. But you fumbled that nigga. But yeah, it was a good classic match, man. They was in there doing what they got to do. Real thug shit. Jonathan Gresham, we know Jonathan Gresham's a great wrestler. You know, he got hoed by Tony Khan. That's why he's in TNA now. So yeah, that's all good shit. I think, yeah, Rosemary's crazy now. She bringing hatchets and shit to the ring. Chopping bitches. I mean, look. All she need to do is chop one bitch. You see that knife back there? Yeah, chop one bitch. And quit watching wrestling, man. I can stop recording this shit on Monday. I get my Mondays back. You know, I can retire from watching wrestling. Just, you know, there's a 50-50. You know, you shoot a nigga with a gun, chop a bitch with a knife. Here's hoping, man. Another year me waiting. But, you know, Rosemary, she on the right path. I got to put all my faith in her. Might follow her on the Instagram so she gets a push and chops a bitch. That's all I can do.
Just in time for Cesar to start watching Monday Night Football.
Yeah, man. Just yeah. No, yeah. I'm still playing college football. I'm yelling at my TV at 2 a.m. like I'm a goddamn coach with my job's on the line, like I'm in the hot seat.
He's yelling at Coach Prime and his kid at quarterback, like, you motherfuckers, throw the ball right.
Yeah, dude. I'm in the struggle. Okay. But yeah, it was a good, you know, they had to do it, open challenge. Ash by Elegance. Yeah, they're gonna have a little 3-way at Insurgents. Sure. Get to cooking. And then old Tasha Steeles fighting men. You know, Santino's like, you have to fight this man again because the bitch was cheating. Santino was working. You know?
I just got where you're talking about.
What are you talking about? What do you mean you just got it? You know that's a goddamn man. Anyway.
Well, on, you know, speaking of triple threat matches, Cesar, we had a banger. We had Zachary Wentz.
Yeah, there we go.
Is KC Navarro versus the Dingo War Sensation from NXT, Dante Chin, the Chin Man.
Chin Man.
What'd you think of this match?
This another good 3-way match. You know what I'm saying? A good 3-way match. Everybody came in, showed what they got, showed what they're gonna do. Did the damn thing. Even old Chin Man, he got his action too. And this is where I think it could get interesting. Because what I would like to see is like the 6th match, right? I would like to see Wes Lee show up. I would really like to see heel Wes Lee show up and win the 6th spot. Just to fuck with Zach Wentz again. Right? Because, I mean, Wes has nowhere to go on NXT unless he's trying to fight Ego.
Yeah.
Because he's done the North American shit. He doesn't need the Heritage Cup. He can only go up. And as being a heel, it's heel on heel. We know Mangria hates that. Mangria hates face-on-face, heel on heel. I don't know why. I mean, they can still have great matches, but I don't know why. He hates it. But if you want to keep this beaten down on the Rascals thing going, I would like for him to be the 6th man in this match. I feel like, yeah, it would give Insurgents a boost.
What if they have Wes take on Trey for that 6th spot?
Yeah, that'd be even better. Yeah, if Trey's one of the guys, and Wes pins Trey to get that's shitty for Trey because Trey has been a great X Division champion.
Mhm.
I don't think Wentz hasn't been an X Division champion, has he?
I don't
So
think
that would make it better because like you said, Sticks, which is crazy. When he had to leave NXT, Wes became like a great second tier champion. And when they left TNA, he had to be a great second tier champion. So they both funny how the niggas rose to the top when the white man left. Oh, I mean, I'm just saying. The white man left TNA in the group, and that nigga got some singles gold. Then the white man left NXT, and that nigga got some singles gold. I'm just saying. White man hold you down, nigga. Just saying. I'm just saying. When I get my own podcast and I leave these two crackers, I'm just saying. Nah, I ain't saying that was a nigga caption. I ain't say that. That was a nigga caption. Y'all just couldn't see him. Anyway, I digress. That would be really great though. If Wes would pin Trey, whoever else is in the match, it fucking doesn't matter. That nigga ain't winning no way. But if Wes pinned Trey and became the sixth man in that match, they go back to the spray paint. They would spray paint the shit out of Wes. Nah, they go into Lowe's and get a 5-gallon bucket of paint and pin that shit on Wes at that pay-per-view. But that would cook though. That would really cook. I wouldn't be mad at it though. But that's my thought process to think of how you carry this forward. Because you could, especially, but if he goes earlier, let's say he's like the fourth person, right? Then you can get weeks of the Rascal showing up on NXT to fuck with Wes, because maybe he's just like,
because we got 3 weeks, right, till they merge.
There's.
Well, let's just also say this. You just talked about we've got like what two-ish months.
Oh yeah, because they had 2 matches per week, so we got like at least 3 weeks. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's either Wes and Zach or Wes and Trey at Bound for Glory. Like this is going to go on for a little bit, and then this is going to go to Bound for Glory because it's one of their 4 major ones that they got. So they're going to put this towards that too.
Well,
what if an NXT guy, like, no, they had Dante Chen. What if an NXT guy actually wins one of these triple threats and they put
that would be cool.
I fully expect it. To be quite honest, guys, I fully expect to see at least an NXT guy, at least one NXT person in that.
What if they put the underboss or somebody?
Let me throw this out there because Tavion's stock has been rising as of late. And in New Japan with the G1, what if they throw Tavion a bone and then
or because they need some flippy dippy. What if the young OG gets a spot?
Ooh.
What if the young OG gets a spot in Ultimate X?
That would be good shit.
I think with Tavion, he's going to be tied up with the no quarter cracks and the family. So it would be great to see his stock is rising. Yeah. But if they threw the young OG in there,
shit. Well,
I mean, he's young as shit. He does flippy dippy shit. They have those X's up there. He could jump from the fucking ring all the way up, dude. The young OG might be a great pull to put in that match.
I get some eyes on the young OG. Sticks, let me get your thoughts on this triple threat. Zach, KC, and Dante. What'd you think?
I thought this was a great match. Like I talked about, the Zachary Wentz is a good singles wrestler. This did nothing but show that. But I also thought this was a great showcase for Dante Chen. Like I thought he held his own in this and allowed. I mean, it's probably maybe about the same amount of audience that watches this as Level Up, maybe just a little bit more, just for the fact that it's hard to find Access TV, and a lot of us are either watching it on YouTube or the TNA Plus app. So I mean, it might be about the same, but if you watching him wrestle, he went out there and thought it wrestled as if it was like he was on a PLE. Like he went out there, he held his own. Casey Navarro, they talked about it. He had been in TNA before. He faced, I think it was Laredo Kid on a pre-show for the TNA Digital Championship. So he kind of had some ties there. But I thought it was another great qualifying match. Dante Chin didn't get pinned, so that doesn't like hinder him. They had Navarro get pinned, so that kind of helps Dante Chin stock out. That if you want to keep bringing Dante back to TNA, but Zachary Wentz picking up that dub, that helps out. But also, like we had talked about, we're going to get some kind of Wesley shenanigans, whether it's they get it, they have him mess with him going into Ultimate X and then either cost him the championship or Wesley surprise shows up as like the final entrant and basically spends his whole match basically making it so that Zachary Wentz doesn't have a chance to win that. Like maybe he gets super close and then Wesley costs him, but also West doesn't have a chance to win it. So it just basically wipes out Zach's chance. Maybe he takes out both Trey. Maybe he takes Trey out the week before the episode before, so that way there's nobody watching Zach's back. And then we get a build towards Bound for Glory where maybe one or both, or we get a triple. I don't know, but we somehow get West versus either one or both, or just somehow goes against one of the Rascals. So I mean, it's
no Mercy is I think in the same month as Bound for Glory, so you could get one versus West at No Mercy and one versus West at Bound for Glory. So I guess it depends. It depends which. So what you get like West and Trey are. Yeah, West and Trey at like Bound at No Mercy, and then you go Bound for Glory. Yeah,
I think they probably would do Wes and Zach at Bound for at No Mercy, just for the fact that there's the history of MSK, and then maybe do Wes and Trey on Bound for Glory, just for the fact that Trey, a lot more people in TNA know Trey than what they do in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you mean, obviously with the crossover, they're probably a lot of fans are going back, and if I would assume they're going back and just catching a few highlights here and there of Trey's work and stuff like that to get maybe someone know. But like the three of us, we know how good Trey is as a singles guy. So maybe you save that for TNA. But I mean, I think I saw during the tag team match, Wes had his finger or something in a splint or something like that. Because I think Wes went after that. So I don't know if it's a legit injury that might keep him maybe out, or it's something that they can use as an angle to keep him out till we get close to Bound for Glory or something like that. I don't know. But I mean, there's so many angles you can go with this, and it's going to be great television.
Well, let's just go ahead and talk about the main event then. Joe Hendry versus Wolfgang Sticks. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was a good match for Joe. Keep the momentum going. Once again, like another single showcase for Wolfgang. I mean, he's been mostly as like your tag teams and maybe your one-off singles when they do tag team matches. Like I said during NXT, they talked about their history on the indies overseas in like Ireland and Scottish indie promotion. So obviously these guys, like a lot of the guys in Gallus and Joe, they have a little bit of history on the indies, so they kind of know. They kind of maybe have a little bit of chemistry. It was a good match. I mean, and it didn't hurt Joe Hendry's stock, and also he keeps that rivalry going with Gallus. So I don't know. It wasn't a bad match. It was pretty decent.
I like how the other Coffee brothers just like they don't give a shit. They're like, you know what, we'll have Wolfgang.
Yeah, like Mark. Yeah, Mark's just chilling, bro.
And Joe Coffee, they'll be able to. But the other guy,
yeah. Hey, bro, you got the week off, bro. Don't worry about nothing. You good?
Apparently, he's not good to the last drop. But Cesar, what do you think of the main event of Impact this week?
Yeah, they're. I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be like WWE bought out Joe Hendry's contract or something, and are paying just hella money to TNA because I mean he has a match on a 2-part TV PLE, and then is in the main event of TNA when there's championship shit going on, two qualifiers for championship shit going on. So it's just, it wasn't a bad match. No, Wolfgang.
Okay, can I say this too? Just briefly talking over. We earlier in the show they had Josh Alexander, and you wondered why
I was gonna talk about that after.
He kicked Joe Hendry in the dick and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He talked about, he said he was a standard, and then he's not being put out in the forefront, he's not even a part of this NXT TNA crossover. It's all the attention is going to Joe. Well, also too, Joe Hendry in a non-title match overshadowed your TNA heavyweight champion that had a match earlier. Now, match-wise, I mean, Dolph Ziggler, it wasn't main event worthy, but just if you want to go on traditionalist, is your heavyweight champion, regardless who he's facing, you should showcase that. But I mean, it kind of helps build into the Josh Alexander heel turn of having Joe Hendry do that and overshadow him. So I'm sorry I interrupted. I just thought I'd share that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Because I liked Josh Alexander's promo, but the only other credit to it is he called out Joe Hendry. And if you watch the match, who pinned Moose to make sure there'd be a new champion? It was Joe Hendry. So Joe Hendry got rid of Moose in that match. If he wouldn't have, I don't know, if you would have beat Joe Hendry, and Moose would have made it to the end, then you still would have been the champion.
Well, I liked it with that too, because Joe has history with Moose. He made a song about Moose.
Moose, yeah. Yeah. And so he's made a song about Moose, so he's got up on Moose, so he's got the upper hand on Moose. And Dolph said he's a defending champ. Whatever. Josh Alexander's promo was great. I mean, I was gonna ask if we could talk about that as well later. But let me finish with the main event first.
Yeah.
Wolfgang. I like Mark Coffey. I thought Mark Coffey was the other singles guy because it felt like on NXT UK, Mark Coffey was the singles guy when they weren't in a tag team. Besides Joe, Mark would fight the guys. And now they're giving Wolfgang some credit. Hey, as we've seen with three-man teams, like MSK and the Ray Schools, you all three could be singles guys. Some people just work better in a tag team. That's probably why Joe Coffey and Mark Coffey aren't in a tag team. They realize they are shit chemistry. Yeah, they're brothers and they're good, but they probably have shit chemistry in the ring. It's better with a guy like Wolfgang, who is a legit powerhouse, with Mark, who is still quick, but also could be a powerhouse guy. So it just works better. Some people just got chemistry better. You know what I'm saying? This is why we three have this shit and Zenka stuck with Jake. I mean, you just got chemistry with people, man. I mean, some shit just works. It does. We don't know. That's the world, bitch. And that's what the world does. But yeah. It was a good match. Don't know if it should have been the main event though. I mean, I would have, to be honest, I would have taken a speedball match as the main event. I'd have taken the Zach Wentz match as the main event. Well, too. I would have taken that shit too. Yeah. Just saying. But money talks, bullshit walks, and Joe cut that promo that he's gonna be there next Tuesday. Then again, you turn around 2 days later, he's main eventing, knowing he's gonna be back tomorrow, tomorrow, because it's only 11:30 here, so I can't say today. So I get it why it was the main event. But if I'm piecing together the show, this shouldn't have been the main event. The first match should have been the main event. This should have been the first match.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the final Dynamite that I will be mentioning about. Things are changing, schedules are changing, but thank you for joining us. Some great wrestling talk. Thank you again for joining, watching, subscribing, liking. Mike, I know you're gonna leave a good comment. We look forward to it. Until next time, we do what we do best here. Stallion Pete got a lot of love on this episode, so this time I'm gonna give some love to my baby girl. Rest in peace. Big ups to Pecan.